Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back into r/EntitledPeople because the entitledness unfortunately never stops, so you know that little pain train gonna keep on rolling down the street. So if you guys would like to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below to start up the wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Let me know your favorite type of sandwich. I don't know, I could really go for a meatball sub right now. A woman in a supermarket tried to eject me from and take my wheelchair. So, there 39N was a rural Shaw's. For those not in the area with a Shaw's, it is a standard supermarket with a club that makes things cheaper, which is their way of hiding their markup. Stuff is cheaper a few miles down the road. Unfortunately, there were a few things I could only get there, like my flavor and lifeblood, caffeine, and food for the dogs. I was using my power chair, which was back when I needed it more often. It's an Eagle HD foldable deal, and it works great. I had been hit pretty hard by post and was very sedentary at the time in my life, along with a pre-existing joint problem. So I'm leaning forward to get a flat of Monster and stick it under my seat on the rack when a woman pushes on my back and says,
"I need that. You don't. You're younger."
As I was belted in, nothing happened. It was only luck that I was belted in. Usually, I would have undone it to pick up something heavy. I sat up and pushed her hands off of me, saying, "What the F?" And she shakes the back of my chair like it's a dinner chair or something and goes,
"You can use the scooter. The chair is better and I'm old."
And she points at the horrible supermarket scooter that she is using. I stare at her in total shock for a moment and say, "This is my wheelchair. Get away from me."
"You can't use personal stuff in supermarkets. Give me the chair."
She started shaking it with each movement. So at that point, I just hit the maximum speed on my power chair and took off, ripping it out of her hands. It was either let go or be dragged on her face because she clearly wasn't super steady and needed the scooter herself. And we're off to the dumbest chase in creation, mostly because supermarket scooters go slower than any other mobility device. I buzzed over to the service desk and cut the line and said, "I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, but there's a woman following me trying to push me out of my chair and take it." And from behind they hear,
"Get back here!"
and the most wheezy buzz of the slow scooter. In the moment, it was really enraging that she was being so entitled and frustrating, and I just wanted to get my dog food and leave. But in memory, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. They let me into the little back office area, and they had the whole line of long people waiting, just sort of watched as she came over. And it took so long. The scooter was so slow, and she is yelling about how I don't need the chair and how she should get it because she's older and more disabled. It takes a full 20 seconds for her to get from one end of the store to the other, and everyone is just staring as she rides full of glory at 0.00001 miles per hour, with her face red and her glasses hanging off of one ear. So she finally gets to the desk, and they calmly explain that the wheelchair isn't store property, and if she tries to steal from another customer, they will have to call the police. She starts shouting at the employees that she knows full well you can't bring personal equipment into the supermarket. So they're lying. And the other woman behind the counter says with a bit more attitude, "Lady, why do you think we care if you bring a wheelchair into the supermarket?" At the point, she's something either clicked or she just realized an entire line of people were staring at her, and not kindly. She suddenly asked where to find the artichokes. I almost coughed on my own spit. The worker just stared back and pointed back what the woman had come and said, "Produce." And the woman left. I admit that for the rest of my visit, I avoided any aisle that she was in because I didn't want her to get close enough to grab me again. Now, I can laugh about it for the most absurd comedy moment it was. In retrospect, I feel there's a reason here. Like, her husband told her that they shouldn't buy a thing like I had because they're not allowed to be in the supermarket. That's the best answer I can possibly come up with for that wild nonsense. Wherever you are, crazy lady, I hope you bought your own Eagle HD. I don't know why, but the security cameras are usually in most supermarkets. I feel like I really want to see that chase scene now. Also, look, in general, if you're going to say that something is prohibited from being able to enter a grocery store, you would think for a single second that there might be a label on a door or a sign somewhere saying such, but also, do you really think that a supermarket would not allow people to bring their own wheelchairs in or any way to get around so they're not allowed to do their shopping? No, for some reason this is the only person that thought that that was the thing that needed to happen. Also, like, even if you did happen to steal the scooter from the lady, would that then also mean that you're driving around a prohibited device then? Is this just gonna turn into a random loop of people pulling others out of wheelchairs like nut jobs? But unfortunately, the story doesn't seem all too unreal because like you guys have noticed if you've been watching the channel for a little while, I happen to work retail. Stupid stuff like this can very much happen. Actually, yesterday, the day before I'm recording this, I had a lady walk in, look at me at the register, and ask where the fish are. Not even turning left to see the 40-foot beta fish mural that was the indicator of, hey, there's fish over here, dumbass. Unfortunately, for people that shop for like grocery stores and retail stuff, there is no level of stupid that retail associates experience. An entitled friend doesn't understand the concept of a white elephant exchange. This all happened almost 10 years ago, but after spending all morning reading stories on the sub, I felt like sharing my own experience. For years, I am early 30s at the time, was close friends with Brittany, same age as me. Brittany and I had gone to college together, gone on trips together, and we were pretty much inseparable. She had always had a bit of an entitled streak with her, but it was never anything drastic. She usually kept it restrained to things, being the only one to pick which restaurant our group of friends went to, or having her seat in a friend's home. Annoying, yes, but pretty mild overall. Then Christmas hit. A mutual friend of ours decided to hold a Christmas get-together for our large, extended friend group, which included both me and Brittany. This friend, Mary, had recently gotten married, even bought a new house with her new husband, Matt. Mary's wedding had been a small, private, family-only affair. To celebrate with friends, as well as celebrate their new house and the holiday, Mary invited about 30 people from our extended friend group to a big Christmas party. It was wonderful. Mary had always been one hell of a cook, and she insisted on providing everything for the guests. She did all of the cooking, bought tons of drinks, alcohol and non-alcoholic, and made sure that none of her guests were without a drink or a plate of amazing food all night. Mary had only one request for her guest. Each person was to bring a gift to contribute to a white elephant gift exchange. Happily, especially given how much Matt and Mary shelled out to feed us all, we all brought a gift. For those not familiar for white elephant exchanges, called Yankee Swap or Dirty Santa in some places, they involve everyone bringing a wrapped gift. Then, one by one, each person chooses a gift from the pile, and the first person opens his/her chosen gift. Then, the second person can either open a new gift or steal the first person's gift. Third can steal second's or first gift or pick a new one, on and on until everyone has had a chance. Then the first person gets the last chance to steal. One rule was put into place in a lot of these exchanges is that a gift can only be stolen twice. So, if you are the third person to get your hands on a gift, it is yours for good and no one can take it from you. This was the downfall of Mary's gift exchange, or at least when it came to Brittany. The gift exchange started, and people were having fun stealing blankets, candles, gift cards, and the like from other friends. No one was upset if their gift was stolen. Hell, it's all for fun, and we were all friends, right? Well, Matt, Mary's new husband and party co-host, was really good at making his own beer. As his gift in the exchange, he wrapped up a full case of his amazing dark stout that he made. Bob opened that and was excited. We all knew how amazing the beer was, as we had been drinking it all night at the party. Then Tim stole the beer from Bob. We laughed that Bob was disappointed, but he gave it over to Tim in the spirit of the game. Then it was my turn. I stole the beer from Tim. Like Bob, Tim was disappointed, but willingly gave me the beer and laughed along with the disappointment. Noticed that it was the third owner for the case of beer. That means that, per the rules of Mary's game, I was safe from having the beer stolen from me. Brittany was the next to go. She tried to steal the beer, but was reminded by several people that the beer had been stolen twice, so was now officially mine. Instead of just picking a new gift or stealing someone else's, Brittany threw a fit.
All of the other gifts suck. That's not fair. The beer's the only thing that I want. I wouldn't have played if I knew this stupid rule.
On and on and on she went. She was making everyone uncomfortable, especially Mary. Matt intervened and politely asked Brittany to just play along. She reminded her that there were still a few bottles of the stout in the kitchen if she wanted one. But no, Brittany couldn't handle not having the full case to just take home with her. She pouted and refused to pick another gift or play the game. So, we skipped her. The game continued on, and everyone, other than Brittany, had a gift. With only one gift left, Brittany was forced to take that, or nothing. She chose nothing, and on top, continued to complain and moan about how unfair the rules were. The person who brought the unclaimed gift took it back and gave it to Mary and Matt as a housewarming gift. Seeing that, Brittany stormed out and left. I thought that would be the end of it, but I was wrong. Over the next few days, I was barraged with text messages from Brittany demanding that I give her the case of Matt's beer. She didn't ask if I would share it, which I probably would have done. She demanded that I give it to her outright, saying,
"You know the rules were BS, and it should have been mine anyway."
When I told her no, she started with guilt trips.
"You make more money than me, so you can buy expensive beer, and I can't. We've been friends for so long. It's only right. You're just being selfish."
The final message from her was,
"I hope you choke on it, Nayol."
Yeah, I blocked her number, removed her from my Facebook friends list, and haven't spoken to her since. Nor, for that matter, have Mary and Matt, nor about a third of the party guests. She lost a lot of friends, all over a case of beer. It was a damn good beer, though. I thought of Brittany every time I drank a bottle. If you really need to have a beer that specific much, I think there might be a support group you should probably go see. You know, one of the anonymous varieties. On top of that, you acting like you've never been told no a single day in your life. That's gotta be one of the most immature, ridiculous things that anybody has done. Entitled X ghosted my friend and then demands a room in our house. This isn't my ex, but my best friend's ex. She and I have been friends for years and live together now. And now we live with my parents, who adore her like their own daughter. I got her permission to post this. My friend, 30F, came to the US from Latin America at 19 as a student. She also started dating her ex, 29M, after many years of hanging with each other both during vacations and online. I knew them both since high school, and they seemed pretty good together. She tried to convince him to move together a few years before their breakup. He was living with his parents, who wanted him to leave. At this point, she had already finished college and had a job in the US that granted her a visa. He had quit college and worked part-time. From what I can gather, he didn't want to leave his parents' place because free food and no rent. So instead, she asked me if I wanted to move in with her so we could afford a bigger place. I said yes, and we moved together, adopted a cat and a dog, and pretty much became Grace and Frankie. Around the start of the pandemic, things got bad for them. This is what I was told and what I saw. They never talked or hung out or anything. I was in a breakup at that time myself, so I wasn't really on top since I had my own issues, but my friend cried so much but didn't even get a happy birthday. After a year of no contact, she assumed that the relationship was over. She changed all of her social media to single, which he could see, took him off of her emergency contacts at work and at her doctor's, and just moved on with her life. This year, my stepdad's health has gone downhill, and my mom needs help caring for him. She works full-time as a therapist. I work from home and my job is very flexible, so I put in the idea of all of us living together and I'll care for my dad. Eventually, I'll care for my mom too. My mom loved the idea and asked my bestie if she wanted to move in with us too so we could all be together, and also because at this point, I can't see myself not being in the same house as her. We've come to terms in being single ladies. Heck, we've joked that one of us should adopt, and we've become parent/aunt dynamic. And now the joke is more serious since I'm considering it, and she's incredibly supportive. No, we're not dating. She's straight, I'm bi. We're just incredibly close after all of the BS that we've lived through together. We found a perfect house, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathrooms, enough space, a yard, everything we need. And we got it after a bunch of difficulties and arrangements. Since I don't have immediate plans for adopting yet, I have a ton of paperwork and years of planning ahead. We made extra room into our office/gaming hub. We both work at the same place, totally not on purpose. They were hiring and we both needed visas. And as proud first-time homeowners, we posted pictures. Her ex, who by this point had been MIA for 3 years, messaged her saying that he was so excited to move into the new house. She told him this was her house with me and my parents. He said that since they were a couple, she should kick me and my parents so he could move in. I want to point out that my parents bought the house. We, a friend and I, will pay them our parts over the years. And if she decides to move out, I'll finish paying and I'll buy her part out. This is all in paper and signed, so she obviously told him that he was not moving with us and that he ghosted her, so there was no relationship. He went on a tirade that he never broke up with her, that she was abandoning him, that she never cared about him, etc. I got pissed off, took the phone from her, and told him he could live in a bear cave for all I care, but to leave my friend and our house alone. He went ballistic and began calling us some names referring to the LGBTQ+ community that would probably get this post flagged, so I'll leave it to your imagination. My friend started crying and I was absolutely done with him. I never thought that he was bad, but my friend confessed to me that this was not new. He always had issues with the two of us living together and accused her often of cheating on him with me. We ended the call and I told her that she needed to block him for her own sanity's sake. She deserves so much better than this man-child. She got me to leave my horrible ex when I was in high school. She took me to the hospital when he beat me up and called my parents. My friend is family, and I'll be dead before I let someone with commitment issues make her suffer. Since then, he's gone on a major campaign in our friend group to say my friend abandoned him and left him homeless, since apparently he canceled his lease after he saw that we bought a house. He also claims that we are lesbian Satanists that probably do bad things to our pets and are mooching off my parents. Most of my friends know this story and know that my friends and I moved together at first out of necessity. Then we just don't see ourselves not living together. So yeah, my friend's ex is a nutcase, and if he ever gets close to her again, I will probably give him a free vasectomy. Update. Hey everyone, a bit quick on the update, but some people asked if our friends knew where the ex was hiding for 3 years, and I was actually curious. Since I was down for the count at work today, I had time to check with friends and find out more. Apparently, my bestie did ask them, but they didn't know. From what they tell me, he kinda got back into everyone's life in the last year or so, but he was part of the group because they were bestie's friends, not really his. I don't personally know many of his own friends, to be fair. I did track down the ex's sister thanks to social media, and poked her for info. She's very nice and has always treated my bestie right. I told her that her brother did, and her response was very interesting. Apparently, the ex was dating other girls until his parents decided to move outside of the US. He is now living on a friend's couch. The last she heard was a couple of days in the past when they went out for coffee. He was saying he got this brand new house that he was going to be moving in this week. As far as she knew, my bestie begged him to take her back and let her live in his house. I did correct her and said that no, bestie is living with me and my parents in our new house. Her reaction was, of course he lied, and just thanked her for letting me know that he was BSing. Aside of that, I do want to report that we are safe. He doesn't know where we live, and most people don't, because we are not really ready to open Pandora's box and having friends come over. We also needed time to figure out who we want in the know. We won't be going to the police unless something serious happens, just because this is technically not a crime. But we are going to be keeping recordings and printed text conversations. If he tries anything, we have all of our papers in order, and just in case, I plan to contact our company's HR so they know the situation. The company we work with can provide us free legal counseling if things get bad. Update 2 is the new post, because boy, Dookie hits the fan. My friend's ex turned into a stalker. Well, it seems I'm stuck in the saga now. Once again, I have full permission from my friend to share this. Link to the OG post. As my first post said, my friend's ex ghosted her and decided to try to move in with her. And, by extension, me, after years of no contact. My friend told him where he can go. For a bit, it was actually pretty calm. She did cut contact and block him as many suggested, and between the two of us, my bestie and I did some culling in our friend group, and people we knew were passing information to her ex. We've settled in the new house together, and she actually gets along better with my parents sometimes than I do. Guess she's the golden child now. Sadly, eventually we had to adult and get much needed food. We went to Walmart in town together to go and buy, but some bad luck had us crossing paths with her. I wish all of it was just an awkward glances and each on their way, but no. At first, he tried to talk to her. My friend said that she didn't want to speak to him and didn't want him near her. I mostly reminded him I wanted to rip his spine and beat him to death with it. Sadly, this didn't deter him from following us around like the most obnoxious toilet paper stuck to shoes. We did our shopping and headed to the car with him still after us. I told my friend for her to get into the car and start the gear, and to lock it while I loaded the groceries. Her ex then decided to appeal to me and talk to my friend about taking him back. I don't know what power held me back from committing a felony, but I'm pretty sure I've earned a PhD in self-control. I told him, in no uncertain terms, where he could put his reconciliation, and that if he kept following us, I will make sure his legs were out of the equation. I got in the car, and my friend began to drive back until we noticed the car following us. And we knew it was following because the directions we were going was not usual. To rule out a possible neighbor, we actually did a full U-turn almost back to the store, stopped to get some fast food, ate it in the parking lot, and then headed again back home. And the same car was after us. Now, as much as I talk of violence, I have to admit I was terrified. So, my friend, neither of us has a firearm permit. Best we can carry is a can of pepper spray. And we know her ex does have firearms. So, yeah, we were not comfortable at this point. Instead, we headed past our neighborhood and, following the usual advice from TV, drove to a police station. Once in it, we did write a statement, and I got scolded about the confrontation in Walmart's parking lot. The reason we know it's her ex was because when we got home, she got a call from him in a new phone number saying, "I know where you live now." We immediately called the police, so there's where we stand. Cops just left a few minutes ago, and my brother is going to be staying over for a few weeks until we get the RO and some sturdier locks. Also, I want to clarify a few things. A lot of people asked why originally my friend took a whole year of being ghosted to accept the relationship was over. While I get it, trust me, please understand that when my friend came to the US, they had no one. She took contact with toxic family. She's literally only had her ex. I moved into the US a year later and also came alone at first. But my parents were able to become citizens and I had them. When her relationship died out, she lost not just her boyfriend, but his family, who pretty much were as close to her own family as she could get. It's not easy, and I personally can't imagine how lonely she felt. I could spend Christmas with my parents. She had no one for the first year, so please don't judge her on it, because she doesn't deserve it. It's not easy being an immigrant when you have no place to return to. I wanted to do an update, but I haven't had the time. Thank you for all of your well wishes and advice. We are certainly taking measures for security. We're working with the police, who have been absolutely great the whole process, and are helping Bestie to get that RO. For now, we have my brother using our account. He is ex-military and has a firearm permit, so we feel comfortable with him home. We still have no idea what's going on with my friend's ex, and to be sincere, aside from focusing on our safety, I don't have time to play Scooby-Doo. I did send a message to his sister warning her that we will press charges if he keeps creeping on us. We also did find an AirTag hidden in the car's bumper. It was immediately removed and turned into the police. Other than that, we're doing fairly good, enjoying the space in the yard, and to our new French aunt, we absolutely love to have you as a family. But with that is going to have to be with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!